Okay guys, so without wasting any time, let us start with creating the WCF service. Let us select the WCF service and I'm just changing the name to my WCF. Okay. I have created my WCF service. Now the idea behind the sending the complex object as parameter and retrieving the complex object as parameter is we will send any object by changing it to a JSON format. We will change any kind of object into a JSON format. So if the data we are sending is in JSON format, what we will keep its input type as string. You know the problem, if I am creating a complex object like input I have already created. Okay, now the problem here is if we are sending any data from Android to WCF service, there are two different ways of serializing and deserializing the data. So any object which is got serialized in Android, I was not able to deserialize it in WCF service, or we can say in .NET. So what I have come up with, we will keep it as string and we will just serialize manually the data into the JSON format and we will deserialize here. Okay, I will go to the exact WCF service. As you can see here, this do work method is of no use. I will implement the newly created do work method. Okay, now as you can see, now we in the do work method we have request string and the output will be of string type. Now the second main part, what you have to do, you have to create a helper class. You can just copy this thing. It contains the extension method for string and object, so that we can convert any string data to our desired input. If you don't know about extension method or something, just don't bother about this. I would recommend you to copy this much part and go ahead. Now I will show you how I am converting the serialized data into actual object. Now I am just converting this request dot, I will call it as deserialize, and I will tell that in which object I want to convert this string. Okay, now okay, here home I will create input I equal to request.deserialize. Now whatever data I have passed here, it will automatically get converted into this input. Okay, now what the main purpose when we call WCF service or any web service we are calling, the main purpose is we can do any database work. You can do your database work here, database related tasks. Okay, you can use the input using input and you will get some data and which I want to pass as a JSON serialized string to as return. Okay, what I will do, output. Right now I'm just creating the output because I am not connected to any database or something. So if you want to get connected to database, or if you want to know how to publish the WCF service or any website, you can check out my other videos which I have previously uploaded. Okay, now I'm just adding the data name, as I will keep the name as FireExit. Age, let keep this age as 2. Okay, and the input data, I will provide the input data, the particular data which I have got from the input. Okay, so I dot father plus I dot last name. Okay, this will make this is I have done to make sure that we have got the data from data as input and we are returning the data as output. So two different data is there. Now in return, what we have to write, o dot just serialize. Okay, you won't get this serialize or deserialize method if you are not including this helper file. You just have to copy paste this helper file. I will add this code into the description. Just copy paste, or you can even write the code. Now let us check viewing browser. In short, we are ready to use this WCF service, but one problem here is we can't use the WCF service because this particular port we won't be able to access directly. So what I need to do here is I will just publish this website to IIS. Click on publish, and my path here is this. Okay, and I will click on publish, and then the particular website will get published. Okay, let us check if it got published or not. Okay, as you can see, everything is pretty much correct, and we are able to see the WCF service, that SVC service in detail. So now we are ready so that we can access it from Android. Okay, I will give the name as WCF test. Okay, next. I will select a blank activity. Okay, main activity, let's keep everything as it is. Okay guys, we are ready with our brand new project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 text views so that we can display the data which we have got from the WCF service. Okay, here's from the text view 1, text view 2, and text view 3. Now I have 3 text view. I have placed them separately. We will give the name as, okay, text view, text view 2, and text view 3. 3 text views are there. Let me create those objects here. I will just remove the unwanted methods. You can keep them as it is, but I would like to remove this so that we don't have any complexity. Okay, text view equal to find by ID. I will just copy paste it 3 times, text view 2 and text view 3. Now let me create the objects file. Now we have 3 text views, and I will create the handler. Handler is important because the getting the data from web service, it will be done in a different async task. Okay, in the since the work is done is in a async task, we won't be able to access these text views from that async task. That's why the handler is required, and handler, since the handler is created in the same activity, we will be able to use the handler to update the text views. Now I am going to create the async task. Let me call as class my async task extends okay. Now it will ask to implement the methods. Let us implement the method. Okay, in this do in background. Okay, in this method actual calling of the service will take place. Okay, I am creating an object here, output. Output O equal to new output. Okay guys, now the catch here is the particular output object we need to create this output object same as which we have created in the WCF service. Okay, let me create this, create class output. Now it will create a class for me, and we will need a input class as well. Okay, I will create both here only. You can create in the different file. Okay, for the input we are required to implement the serializable. Okay, if it is not serializable, it will give a problem. Okay, the serializable input I equal to new input. Now the input object is created and output object is created. Now what we have to do is call the WCF service. Okay, but before calling, I would like to copy paste the entire thing from here. I will create the input now. I will just copy the input details from here. Okay, we need to make sure that the input class is serializable. Okay, now the tricky part start here. We have to call the WCF service from here. For calling the WCF service, we have some huge amount of code that I have reduced into a R file. It's Android archive. The way we have the jar file, the Java archive, I have created a R file. You can download this R file. Okay, you can download this R file from the below given link. You can check the link there. What I will do, I will just copy this R file. Okay, you can download it from the link. I will copy and I will open the current Android Studio project, and you have to go to the project view. Okay, in the project view you will find the app folder. In the app folder we have libs. What you have to do is you have to paste this R file here. Okay, now physically the R file is present in our project, but to logically add the R file, what you have to do, we have to add this R files detail in the Gradle. Okay, in the Gradle I will write the code here. Okay, I will just add this code. You can just write this code. If you don't know anything about the Gradle files and all, it really doesn't matter. This much code, and plus we have to add the repository. Since our repository is libs, we need to add this code. You can directly write this code here. Now in short, what I have changed in the Gradle file, this much. You can just directly change the data, and you have to click on the sync now. It will take some time to sync with the R file, and all the details will be there in the R file. Okay, meanwhile it's finishing the building the Gradle, we will continue with the coding. Okay, let us check if the R file is already added. Okay, as you can see, FireExit client is already there. Okay, that means our R file is got included. I will create the object of client equal to new FireExit client. Okay, in the FireExit client, as you can see, the SOAP address is required as input. The SOAP address I have already copied. Okay, this will be the SOAP address with the port number. Okay, I will paste this SOAP address here. Okay, and now client dot configure. In the configure you have to pass the object of configure. In the configure you can see three parameters are required: namespace, contract name, and method name. Okay, all these three details you can find it from the WSDL file. Okay, in my case the namespace is this. Okay, and the next is contract name. Contract name is nothing but the interface's name. Okay, I will just copy paste the interface name here. The particular method which we are supposed to call, I will copy that and I will paste it here. Okay, I have. Okay, now the tricky part here is the next method which we are going to call is the add parameter. Okay, in the add parameter two objects are there, string name and one serializable object. Okay, Now the string name here is nothing but the name of the parameter. As you can see, our name of the parameter is request. I will copy and I will paste it here, and now in the object I will send I. Okay, as you can see, it has accepted that. I have already created the object of output. What I will do is, now I will just call the service. As you can see, there are two call methods. If you have any output, then we will call the first one, and if you don't have any output, we will call the second. So I am calling this method and I will giving the output as O. Okay, and it will return us the output. Now we have to put this part in try catch block since it's calling the service, so that's why we have to add in this try catch. Okay, now this much part is enough to call the WCF service. If you want to know how this WCF client works or how this call function works, what you can do, you can just go and see the source code here. You can see there is a very long lengthy code is there, and which is very complex. If you want to understand this, you can go through the code. That's the only reason I have not signed the R file. The code is available to you. You can read the code and you can make changes. If you want to make any changes, you can just copy this class and you can make changes. But if you just want to call the WCF service and if you don't bother how it is work, this much is enough for you. Now since our data is called, we have called the WCF service and we have got the data. What I will do is I will create the post execute. In the post execute, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the handler dot post new runnable. Okay, now this will call our new runnable. Since it is going to be this my async task will be called in a different thread itself, we will require the handler class to make the changes. Now in text view 1 I will set the text as o dot. Okay, first of all I need to change the type of o to our output equal to, I am just casting that object into ours. It will ask me to make the output object as final. Okay, since we are running into the in runnable, okay, we need to change it. Okay, you just don't bother. What we have to do is just put the final word here. Okay, now in output we will have name. Okay, I'm just copying and pasting it, name, age and input data. Okay, now I'm just changing it as 2 and 3. Sorry guys, I forgot to add the input data here. So what I will do, I dot father equal to s and I dot last name equal to m. Okay, now we are ready and we can call this async task. So new async task dot execute. Okay, I need to change this thing here. Okay, now we will be able to do it. New execute without any parameter. Now we are good to go. I'll go to the manifest and I will add the permission here. First I will show you by debugging the code. Use the same device. Okay guys, as you can see, I have just reached the breakpoint. One thing to notice here, I have changed the name here. Here the computer name was there. I have changed the name with the current IP address of the system. Okay, somehow I was not able to access through the computer name. Now I'll just do step over. It will take some time, and now we'll see the data in O. Okay, as you can see, the data from the web service has been captured here, and it will be displayed in the text views. You can see here in the text views as well, the FireExit 2 and SM is displayed. Thank you guys. Please hit like, subscribe and comment.